Hi and welcome to another video. If you clicked on this video, you're probably interested in learning more about Zenphi. So in a few minutes, I'm going to show you just how powerful Zenphi can be. So let's get started. We're going to start by creating a space. A space is going to be a designated space where you can automate your process. You can have a different space, for example, for HR, another one for finance. This way you can have all the processes, but still have that security that only certain people can access certain data. Now, when you create a new space, you have the option to use a template or you can use an empty space. So for example, we're going to be using the expense reimbursement. So what we're going to do is click on use template, but as you can see, there's different options. You can select the incident report, you can select the quote generation, or you can start with a blank space. Once you click on use template, you're going to be able to see a summary of everything that will be included inside of your space. It's going to create the flows, the forms, the dashboards, and everything. There's a list of instructions which we will go through in this video as well. So we're going to go ahead and click on use this template. And then all we have to do is set up a connection which is going to grant Zenphi permission to be able to access our Google directory. So to do this, we're going to click on the plus icon to create a new connection. You can give it a name and it can also be private or shared. So once we do that, we're going to click on authorize. If there's any checkboxes, make sure you tick all of them before you continue. Click on allow. And then you should see this message, connection has been successfully established. And we're going to do the same thing for the Gmail connection. So what this is going to do is grant Zenphi permission to access your inbox. So again, create a new connection. Once we've added both, we're going to click on use this template. And as you can see, it has automatically added flows, tables, and dashboards to your space. So a quick overview of this page, we're going to see our dashboards on the left-hand side. We're going to be able to see our flows, tables, and AI models if you have any. And then here we're going to be able to see everything as well, your flows, your tables, and your AI models. So let's start by looking at our flows. We're going to click here, click edit flow to be able to see the flow. Okay, and here we have our flow. In Zenphi, a flow consists of two things: a trigger, which is going to be the action that's going to initiate our flow, and then it's also going to consist of actions. Now, actions can either connect to different systems. For example, you can add an action that's going to send an email using Gmail, or maybe you want to add a row to Google Sheets. However, actions can also help change the logic of your flow. For example, an if condition, a switch condition. As you can see here, I have an if condition, so this would decide which way the flow goes depending on certain conditions. Now, like mentioned, the trigger starts your flow. There's different triggers that you can add in Zenphi. In this particular example, we have chosen to start with a Zenphi form. Zenphi forms are very similar to Google Forms, however, they are easier to use and they have added functionalities inside of Zenphi. So if we click here, we're able to see the form that we have created. There's different questions. You can personalize and add different fields if needed. Now, regarding the action, something that you're going to see quite a bit is this chain icon. This is called a token picker. Whenever you see this little button, you're going to be able to insert dynamic data. Now, for example, this action is called lookup user information. It's used to retrieve different information for a user email. You can return their phones, their emails, if they're admins, their last login time, so a lot of valuable information. However, if we hard code this value, it'll always return the information for the same user. However, if we use the token picker and we go to the trigger, and then we open up initiator, if we click on their email, then we'll be able to get the user information for whoever filled out the form. Now, if you want to add another action, what you could do is either search here, either using the search bar or by category. For example, this table one, you can either drag and drop, or you can click on the green button here to be able to add, and you'll also get a search bar. And then to delete an action, all you have to do is right click, delete. And you can also cut and copy actions. And if you want to make your flow easier to understand for any users, what you could do is also add a note. So again, you would do right click, note, and you can add a note for any users in your workspace to be able to view, maybe some instructions on what the action does, maybe some specific instructions, maybe they need to replace a certain value. And now to be able to see this form in action, what I'm going to do is fill out the form. So I'm going to go ahead and fill out the expense reimbursement form that it has already created for us since we did use a template. And now that we have submitted our form, as we can see, there's an instance of the form running. You can access this by clicking up at the top. And as we can see, it has gone through all the steps and it has successfully notified the manager. Now if we go back and now we look at the tables, if we open up this expenses table, here we can see an overview of everyone who has submitted. And this third row would be the one that was just created. So as we can see, it added the submit date, the employee name, email, amount, etc. If we look over to the status, it's waiting for manager approval. So this is a really easy way to keep track of what status your current reimbursements are in. So if they were approved, if they were denied. Now this template comes by default with a couple of dashboards that we can look at. So this first one is going to be the form in case you want to fill it out. And then we're going to have this overview where we can see what status the expenses are currently in, if they're waiting for approval, if they're done, making it really easy for you to know what's pending. Then we have this one by department, which departments are requesting the most reimbursements. Down at the bottom, you can see a list of all the expenses. If you want to see more information, you can click on View Detail. The next tab is My Expenses, where you can look at the reimbursements that you've requested and what status they're currently in. And as you can see, dashboards can be a really easy way to be able to visualize information. And as you can see, dashboards have a plethora of tools that can help us actually visualize information to make it easier to comprehend. If you want to know exactly how long the whole process is taking, how long it's taking for a manager to approve reimbursements, which departments are requesting most reimbursements, and how much they're requesting on average. And that would be everything for this short introduction to Zenphi. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them down in the comments section. In the description, you'll find a link to a demo meeting. Here we can help answer any questions you may have on Zenphi, help you with your use case. This help is completely free of charge and commitment, so we highly welcome you to do so. Thank you so much for watching.